Welcome to Deep Sleep Stories. You've found yourself in a cozy corner of the evening, where the glow of soft lamplight guides you toward tranquility. Tonight, you're invited on a gentle journey to a secret corner of Cairo's ancient bazaar. A story woven with the hush of twilight, the scent of spice-laden air, and the warmth of candlelit stalls. As you settle in, give yourself permission to sink deeply into comfort. Inhale quietly and feel a soothing breath fill your lungs. Let your eyes get heavy, imagining the flicker of distant lanterns reflecting upon polished stones. Feel the moment expand around you, dissolving the cares of the day. Let your shoulders relax, your arms feel weightless at your sides. Exhale any tension that might linger in your muscles. Perhaps your mind drifts to the alleyways of a faraway marketplace, echoing with a soft hum of nighttime activity. Gently surrender to that peaceful vision, knowing that tonight's story will guide you through the enchanting tapestry of Cairo's hidden alleys and age-old treasures. Slowly, your breathing grows deeper, steadier, and each pause between breaths ushers in a calming sense of anticipation. When you're ready, allow yourself to drift further. Your eyes can close if that feels comforting, or remain partially open, gazing at a restful spot in the room. There is nothing you need to do now, nowhere else you need to be. You are free to simply wander with an open heart into this warm, atmospheric tale. In this shared space of quiet relaxation, let the night's magic envelop you. And just as the city of Cairo reveals its wonder under the hush of night, you too can explore the gentle corners of calm within yourself. Inhale once more, slowly, tenderly. Exhale, releasing your day's concerns. Let your limbs grow heavier, sinking into whatever you're resting upon. With each moment, your body becomes more serene, your mind more receptive to the calming lull of a story waiting to unfold. Let us begin. Late evening draped the city of Cairo in a gentle, golden hush. The winding streets and narrow alleys shone beneath modest lanterns that bathed every stall, every weathered archway in a warm, amber glow. In the center of this night-swept maze was a traveler named Layla, quietly seeking the secret corners of the ancient bazaar. She walked slowly, her footsteps echoing on worn cobblestones, lulled by the soft, rhythmic chatter of vendors tidying up for the evening. A delicate breeze murmured through filigreed wooden shutters, carrying the spicy aroma of roasted cumin, sweet cardamom, and a faint trace of incense. These subtle fragrances wove through the air like a lullaby, soothing Layla's senses. As she meandered deeper into the bazaar, she paused to admire the glowing brass lamps strung in rows above each stall. Their gentle light reflected off polished metal ornaments, forming dancing patterns along the walls and across her path. High above, the moon shone with a pearly radiance. Its beams gently illuminated the domes of nearby mosques, whose silhouettes lent an ageless stillness to the skyline. The city hummed in a serene hush, as if Cairo itself breathed in unison with the resting souls of those tucked in for the night. Every so often, soft footsteps, a distant laugh, or the gentle rustle of a vendor's basket gave the night a comforting background murmur. Layla moved as though guided by an invisible map, her heart attuned to the enchantment of the evening. The main avenue of the bazaar branched off into narrower lanes, each beckoning with secret wonders. Hand-woven carpets of brilliant reds and blues were draped across wooden racks, their fibres still faintly warm from the day's sun. Nearby, silver and gold jewellery shimmered under the lanterns, delicate filigree shapes showcasing the artistry of local craftsmen. A vendor rearranged some copper tea kettles with practiced grace, each kettle catching the lamplight and reflecting it in mesmerizing patterns along the worn stone walls. Layla, drawn by the gentle glow, approached the kettle vendor's stall. The vendor was a quiet man whose wrinkled hands spoke of a lifetime polishing copper and brass. He offered a kind smile as she drew near, but no words were needed. The clink and slide of metal on metal was like a hushed greeting in the calm of the night. She ran her fingers along the smooth surface of one intricately engraved kettle, feeling its subtle warmth. It was decorated with swirling lines that told silent stories of desert breezes and timeless caravans. Though she said nothing, Layla felt a serene gratitude for this fleeting, tranquil moment. Continuing on, Layla left the kettle stall and passed a group of night owls gathered around a small coffee vendor. The rich scent of thick Egyptian coffee, infused with cardamom, wafted through the street. The vendor poured steaming liquid into tiny cups, the dark brew swirling in gentle eddies. Here, the conversation was soft and musical, carrying warmth in each exchanged phrase. She listened for a moment, letting the melody of their gentle conversation soothe her own thoughts. Even the language, though foreign on her tongue, felt like a cradle of comfort to her spirit. A little farther ahead, a tapestry stall caught her eye. Hanging rugs and woven wall hangings displayed vivid depictions of age-old scenes. Caravans crossing the desert at sunset, slender palm trees swaying along the Nile's banks, and geometric patterns echoing the layered geometry of Cairo's architecture. One tapestry featured an ornate keyhole arch opening onto a garden illuminated by moonlight. Something about that image, its suggestion of hidden realms, tugged at Layla's imagination. She lingered to admire the artistry, her fingertips grazing the soft, textured threads. As the night deepened, the bazaar's pace softened further. Some vendors drew their curtains halfway, while others continued to polish or arrange items as though preparing for an unseen late-night guest. The gentle hush grew more potent, and time seemed to stretch and slow under the milky glow of the moon. Where once the day's bustle had reigned, a sense of dreamy reverence now held sway. Layla found herself drawn to a small bookstore hidden behind an intricately carved wooden door. Intricate Arabic calligraphy adorned the sign above the entrance, curling like tendrils of an ancient vine. She pushed the door open gently and slipped into a world of parchment and ink. Inside, Lamps set upon wooden tables emitted a soft, warm light that caressed the spines of faded tomes and manuscripts. The store smelled of old paper and sandalwood, a comforting scent that seemed to wrap around her shoulders like a shawl. The bookseller, a man with kind eyes and an easy posture, looked up from a stack of books he was sorting. He merely nodded in acknowledgement, allowing Layla the freedom to browse undisturbed. One corner of the bookstore was piled high with antique texts, their pages lined with graceful calligraphic script. Another section housed volumes of poetry, legends, and fables from every corner of the region. Now and then, a page would flutter, a whisper of a story eager to be told. Layla gravitated toward a display of leather-bound journals, embossed with golden shapes, reminiscent of the city's skyline. She carefully opened one, running her fingertips over the blank parchment. As she did, she imagined capturing the sensory tapestry of Cairo's night, the hush of the alleyways, the flicker of lantern light, and the comforting swirl of spices in the air. The idea of writing under such skies felt like a lullaby in itself. After some time immersed in the quiet comfort of the bookstore, she gently returned the journal to its place and thanked the bookseller with a soft smile. Stepping back outside, she was greeted by a drowsy hush that had grown even deeper. The bazaar now had the ethereal stillness of a place drifting between wakefulness and slumber, a sanctuary of shadows and amber flickers. She breathed in, allowing the city's night fragrance, a mingling of incense, coffee, and warm desert breeze, to fill her senses once again. Drawn onward by curiosity, she made her way to a narrow path flanked by high stone walls. The alley seemed older, more hidden. The stones underfoot were ancient, worn by centuries of travelers and pilgrims. The gentle trickle of a fountain reached her ears, a soothing, rhythmic patter of water dancing against a basin. She followed the sound, turning a final corner to find a small courtyard bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. In the center of the courtyard stood an ornate marble fountain. The cool sound of its water offered a peaceful background symphony, each ripple as gentle as a whispered lullaby. Along the perimeter of the courtyard, large clay pots spilled over with green plants, their leaves rustling in the faint breeze. The corners were shadowy and serene, like quiet pockets of a dream. A single lantern flickered near a stone bench, revealing a comfortable spot to rest. Feeling a wave of weariness, she sat down on the bench and took in the courtyard's stillness. Her heart seemed to slow to the fountain's rhythm, a gentle, comforting beat that harmonized with the city's muted pulse. Not far away, a cat emerged from behind a clay pot, stretching languidly under the lantern's warm glow. Its fur shimmered, and its eyes shone like polished gems. It approached with delicate steps, circling near Layla's feet, accepting a soft scratch behind the ears. The cat purred quietly, a gentle sound that fused with the evening's hush. For a moment, they shared a connection that transcended speech, a small bond in this moment of late-night tranquility. Layla closed her eyes for a moment, letting her thoughts wander through the tapestry of the bazaar's evening wonders. She recalled the shimmering brass of the kettle stall, the aroma of rich coffee, and the hush of the bookstore, each memory layered upon the next, forming a gentle mosaic of nighttime Cairo. When she opened her eyes, the cat had curled up at the base of the bench, content to stay in her company. Nearby, an open window on the second floor of an old building let out a soft glow. From within came the faint notes of a lute, playing a slow and soothing melody. The music gently drifted down into the courtyard, as if it too wished to rest there. The tune was unhurried, the notes drawn out in a lullaby-like pattern that flowed seamlessly with the drip of the fountain. There was something timeless about the combination of music, moonlight, and soft water sounds. It conjured the sense that, in this quiet place, the city's centuries of history were alive and whispering through each subtle breeze. Layla, entranced by the music, felt her breathing become more languid. The bench beneath her felt as soft as a plush cushion. She leaned her head back, letting her mind drift to older times, imagining caravans passing under these same moonbeams, whispering their stories around crackling fires. The illusions danced gently across her mind, like silhouettes cast against canvas by candlelight. With each imagined scene, her eyelids grew heavier, comforted by the knowledge that she shared a small part in Cairo's continuing tapestry. After a while, the lute's melody faded into silence. A hush followed, and in that stillness, Layla rose from the bench, offering the cat a parting pat on the head. The cat remained, languidly observing her departure with half-closed eyes. Drifting back into the narrow lanes, she saw that many stalls now lay dark, the vendors having gone home to rest. Only a few stalls stayed open, their lamps continuing to flicker in the quiet. In the subdued glow, the architecture around her seemed to soften, revealing graceful arches and delicate patterns that might go unnoticed in the harsh light of day. Her footsteps carried her toward the farther reaches of the bazaar, a place rarely visited by most. Here, the alleyway broadened into a wide courtyard bordered by towering palm trees. Their fronds shivered, sending shadows dancing across the pavement. In the center stood a small platform carved of limestone, where old storytellers once gathered to share tales of heroism and love, of journeys near and far. Though the platform was empty now, Layla sensed an echo of voices carried on the night air, a gentle energy that suggested the memory of many stories once shared under these stars. Beyond this courtyard lay a row of shops rumored to be open even past midnight. Their doors were decorated with mirrors and intricate ironwork, catching the moonlight and reflecting it in ethereal patterns. One door, slightly ajar, emitted a flicker of warm light and the delicate scent of frankincense. Layla's curiosity stirred, and she ventured closer to see what the shop contained. Inside, she discovered a small collection of precious oils, perfumes, and attars displayed on carved wooden shelves. Each bottle was crafted from hand-blown glass, curving gracefully and tinted in the colors of a desert sunset: pinks, oranges, and soft golds. The shopkeeper, draped in a flowing shawl, greeted her with a gentle nod and offered no words. Instead, the shopkeeper moved gracefully among the shelves, selecting small vials of perfumes for Layla to sample. Each scent was luxurious and comforting: rose, myrrh, jasmine, and the faint spice of saffron. The fragrances were subtle but evocative, capturing the essence of a hidden courtyard or a dawn-lit desert horizon. Layla closed her eyes as the shopkeeper uncorked one vial after another, letting her breathe in the aromatic layers. A subtle smile spread across her face, reflecting a simple yet profound contentment. Underneath the aroma of each perfume was a quiet resonance, an unspoken promise of peace. Eventually, the shopkeeper carefully wrapped a small bottle of rose-infused oil in soft paper and placed it into Layla's hands. She pressed her palms together in thanks, sensing that words were not necessary in this tender exchange. When she stepped back into the alley, the faint rustling of palm fronds overhead mingled with the distant chirp of night insects. Cairo's star-filled sky arched above, clearer and more brilliant than she'd expected. For a moment, Layla simply looked up, letting her soul rest among the constellations, feeling as though the universe cradled her in its quiet majesty. Time had gently slipped away, and now the deepest hush of night lay over the bazaar. Only a few stray lanterns kept vigil, their flames swaying with the occasional breath of wind. The path guided her toward a final corridor near the edges of the market district. A simple sign hung above a low archway carved into the high stone wall, and beyond it glistened a courtyard that felt at once familiar and secretive. She could sense a tranquility there, calling to her, like a lullaby from behind closed doors. Stepping beneath the arch, she emerged into a smaller courtyard, set with plush cushions and low wooden tables, as if prepared for visitors who might never come. A few lamps still glowed softly, set in niches around the perimeter. Their warm light, filtered through coloured glass, cast gentle rainbows on the walls. It was a hidden corner for repose, a place where travellers could find comfort at any hour of the night. The hush in this courtyard was profound, as though guarded by centuries of gentle desert breezes and whispered prayers. Layla approached a cushion near the far wall, carefully lowering herself to sit. Her journey through the quiet corners of the bazaar had soothed her spirit, and now her body welcomed the chance to fully rest. She placed the little package containing the rose-infused oil next to her, a small reminder of this night's lingering magic. The hush around her lulled her further into the space between wakefulness and slumber, where each breath felt like a soft wave, carrying her gently closer to sleep. From some distance, an almost inaudible note of a flute soared briefly in the air, a single sustained tone that swelled and then faded away. It was as if the city itself played a lullaby for anyone awake to hear it. The air was neither warm nor chilly, just perfect for a restful night's pause. Layla began to close her eyes, letting her consciousness drift on the mild currents of the evening. The sturdy cushions supported her, and her shoulders released the last hint of tension they held. Here, in this hushed sanctuary, time seemed as fluid as the fountain's water she'd listened to earlier. Images floated through her mind, the glimmer of brass lamps, the comforting hush of turning pages, the swirl of incense in a hidden perfumery. Each recollection felt like a lullaby stanza, layering into a final chorus of serenity. The darkness behind her eyelids became a velvet tapestry, alive with faint, shimmering colours, echoes of the day's soft lights. Cairo's nighttime calm enveloped her like a soft blanket, and she gave herself over to the gentle rhythm of her breathing. Breath by breath, second by second, she drifted deeper into restful quiet. In the warm cradle of that courtyard, her heartbeat slowed, in harmony with the city's sleeping pulse. The wind, the distant murmur of water, and the memory of fragrant perfumes blended into a tender lullaby. She felt a profound sense of safety, as if every alley and courtyard had been placed there for this moment of peace. Gratitude welled up in her heart, not for anything specific, but for the simple gift of existing in this delicate, timeless hush. Shadows danced along the walls, shimmering with a gentle grace. The breeze teased the edges of her hair, reassuring her that all was well. Slowly, softly, her awareness ebbed toward the threshold of dreams. In that hidden courtyard, Layla's breathing grew ever more serene. Each inhale was deeper, each exhale quieter. Her eyelids, once heavy, slipped shut entirely. The hush of night cradled her in a soft embrace, bringing a release so gentle it felt like floating. Nothing called for her attention now. No voices, no tasks, just the muffled whisper of a slumbering city. All around her, Cairo's ancient stones seemed at rest, resonating with a calm deeper than silence. The last lantern flickered faintly in its niche, casting slow-moving shadows that lulled the courtyard into an even gentler stillness. The breeze died down to a soft sigh, and the night's hush was as comforting as the darkest velvet. Layla's last conscious moments were filled with a tranquil sense of being exactly where she needed to be. If one were to look upon her at that moment, they would see the faint outline of a traveler peacefully at rest, the subtle rise and fall of calm breath. Her dreams glimmered somewhere just beyond the threshold, beckoning her into their soothing realm. No sound intruded upon that serene lull. No motion disturbed the cushion's soft support. Time itself stretched into a delicate lullaby, inviting her, and anyone who might find such a place, to drift into the gentlest of sleeps. The starry sky overhead glistened like a protective canopy, and the warm hearts of the sleeping Bazaar sang a silent song of comfort. The city that never truly rests slowed to an almost imperceptible heartbeat, syncing with Layla's calm and steady pulse. In the tapestry of this night, contentment and stillness formed every thread. Now, dear traveller, it is your turn to embrace that same tranquility. Let the imagery of lantern-lit corridors, fragrant air, and soft music lull you deeper. With each breath, feel your body grow heavier, your mind calmer. The gentle hum of evening settles around you, weaving a spell of complete relaxation. There is no need to stir, no need to think or plan. Simply allow yourself to rest in the peaceful lull of this moment. Feel the warmth of the night air wrapping around you, like a nurturing shawl. Hear the echo of distant water, the rustle of leaves, and the hush of the sleeping city. Let the pace of your thoughts slow until they gently dissolve. Softly, sweetly, you drift into the quiet realm of sleep. May the calm of Cairo's hidden bazaar soothe your spirit and guide you toward rest and renewal. Good night, dear traveller. Sleep well.